Welcome back to Next Level Rides. Not very often do I make house calls, but it is for a good buddy of mine that goes by the name of Lauren. He has a orange 2015 M4 with upgraded pure turbos, and he's having a bit of an issue. Last weekend, Lauren took his car onto the dyno, and this is what happened. Yep, that's not looking so good. I mean, S55 is just a glorified N55 engine, so take that with a grain of salt. That being said, he was pushing the limits of the stock motor, running X85, and seeing what the turbos and motor could do. Part of me thinks he found the limitation and he might need to turn it down just a little bit for the next round. And part of me is trying to stay hopeful for him, because if he blew it up as bad as it looks, it's going to suck. I did bring a bag of tools with me, and the flashlight kit is going to meet us there because the wiener decided not to give me back my compression tester. Plan of attack, we're gonna do a compression test. We're gonna scope the engine. We're going to replace the spark plugs. Oh, by the way, this is his spark plug. That looks pretty bad, and it looks like you may have melted a piston or something smashed it, but we're gonna see. I'm gonna give the plugs a once over and see what happens. So we're at Lauren's, and he was showing me the fuel that he ended up getting from a shop that will stay unnamed. So this one here, we took a whiff of it, and this smells like any other X85 that I have smelled. And this one smells kind of like sour. I don't know if that matters much. Yeah, so this one's from Mexico, and it is a year old. And the shitty part is they ended up storing it in sea cans that get super hot during the day, and through our winters would have definitely got to minus 30 or 40. So I don't know, being that this one was the fresh one, and it smells obviously fresh, and this one has like a skunky smell to it, like when gasoline starts going bad. Now when he ended up taking the two of these, mixing it, and put it in the gas tank, it did only register what?
E68.
E68. So what happened, Lauren?
So I took the car into the dyno. I bought the car as it is with a bunch of mods, upgraded turbos, intercooler, a bunch of good little bits. It's supposed to be on a flex fuel tune. The previous owner gave me all the boot mod information. I was able to go through all the previous logs. Everything looked fine. But for the last 3 months, I just drove this car around on pump gas. So I took it to a dyno, and the car made 700 wheel on 93 pump gas. So I thought I would try to put some X85 in it, because that's what it's tuned on, X85, not E85. So I bought a couple cans of X85. I drove the car down to 10 kilometers to empty. I added the 2 cans of X85. On my ethanol sensor, it was only registering E68. We didn't know why. We put it on the dyno, and on the very first rip, he didn't even make it to 5,500 RPM, and I believe we had detonation. Valve covers popped, and I have a spark plug that is not...
Oh, yeah.
And I have a spark plug that is not loving life. So cylinder 4 detonated. The car went super lean at 3,500, and...
which is the shittiest spot for it to lean out.
At 5,500 is when it actually popped. Yeah, I never did get to find out what the car will do on ethanol, because something went wrong.
This is from superheating. Yeah, it's all melted. You can see it's all just...
The rest of them look fairly alright. I mean, I have them in order here.
Yeah, and this is the one
cylinder 4.
Yeah.
The rest of them look fairly decent.
Yeah. And the shitty part is when you buy X85 in the VP tins from a reputable shop, you would expect that it would be E85. And sometimes the flex fuel sensor can take a little bit of time to get up to where it would read the full ethanol concentration. And 10 liters, you probably only have a couple liters in the tank at that point. So,
And it was E10 on.
yeah, right.
Or E12.
Yeah, so, well, oh yeah, and we've got that.
Yeah, we made 30 pounds of boost with a freaking dime-sized hole in the charge pipe, and that is from rubbing on this air intake.
So it was probably sort of sealing, but still a hole. Yeah, that's still a massive boost leak, though.
Massive.
So,
And she made 700 wheel with that hole.
all right, well, flashlight kids arrived. We're going to start plugging away. First and foremost, we're going to use the bore scope. Now, Lauren did mention that the piston was near TDC, so we're going to see if we can see anything. And if we can't, we might need to bump the starter to have the motor rotate and the piston go down. That is a lot of wet something. Or no, it looks like some type of shrapnel. I don't know, Taylor, what do you think?
Well, let me put on my glasses.
Like right there in the corner?
Yeah, it looks like contact.
Yeah, this it's hard to see. That to me kind of looks like shrapnel. Send in the magnet. Let's see where it picks up. Oh, the porcelain is missing.
Yeah, the porcelain's gone, and the porcelain and the hook.
So I hate to say it, when the porcelain and the hook are gone, it's from it superheating.
Yeah.
And the porcelain being ceramic, that ceramic dust likes to etch itself on the cylinders and chew everything up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the magnet and just kind of poke around any... Oh, I feel something already. I'm going to poke around and see what sticks to the electrode. Or to the magnet. Nothing. So there's just oil, actually.
So it was a puddle.
Yeah, so there's oil on the top of the piston, but whatever those chunks are not magnetic. So it's possible that that is ceramic. So if it's ceramic, what I'm going to do is put the bore scope in one more time and see if I had moved it, right? If I moved it, then obviously it's not metallic, so that would be the ceramic. If there was a big enough chunk and it went out the exhaust valve, it could literally have gone through the turbo and who knows, right? Yeah, see? Still there. Okay, so it's all wet. I mean, whatever piece that is, it is on the smaller side. Now the only issue with this is I don't know if this is all droplets of something or it's a bunch of speckling from detonation. Piston's supposed to be round. What is that on the corner? Is that water? Right along here there's a line and then there's like some type of fluid just sitting right on it. Oh, you know what that might be? That might be methanol, I guess.
Does look like there's something sitting on there.
Yeah, you can see the way it's shiny.
Yeah, something's on it.
Can I poke it? So what I think we're going to try to do is whatever is on the top of the piston, we're going to spray it with this jet lube, lubricant and penetrant, and then try and blow everything out of the cylinder with the plugs out. And hopefully we can get the majority of the big stuff out and do a compression test.
Sorry, what was the question?
I sprayed a bunch of lubricant in there, and we're gonna try and see if that piece had moved at all, or if maybe the ring. Oh, okay. There's still right there. Oh, where is it? Yeah, but where's all the lubricant I sprayed in it? There's a lot of shit. We're going to see, again, if that changed anything. Didn't really change anything. That's a lot of something. What we're gonna do is pull the injectors, or at least the wires for the injectors. I put a bunch of that lubricant in cylinder 4 because that's the one we're working with, and it's not going to get any worse. Whatever's in there, we'll try and blow it out and see what happens. So Lauren connected the battery. Now when I tell him, he's going to crank it, and if I tell him, hey, that's good, he'll stop, right, Lauren?
I've never started and stopped a push start car without.
Just take your foot off the brake. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you when. So what it's going to do is it's going to blow everything out of the cylinder, and at the same time we'll be able to audibly listen for a gallop. So if you have multiple cylinders that are healthy and one's a little bit low, it'll be pretty audible. Okay. Stop. Yeah, cylinder 4 keeps blowing a bunch of shit. After 1 or 2, it should have been the lubricant. I'm not sure what it's blowing now. Okay, do it again. Right? It keeps blowing something out. I just don't know what. Not sure what's all on the top of the piston. All right, Lauren. Next up, we're going to do a quick compression test. So compression test will be the telltale sign. So this is going to be the compression of doom chart. Lauren is having a cigarette to calm his nerves. Okay, Lauren. Crank it. I'll tell you when. So compression testers may vary in the overall readings. As long as it's even, that's all we're looking for. All right, Lauren, when you're ready.
Here goes.
Yep. Okay. This one, I'm gonna call that 185. All right, cylinder 2, when you're ready, Lauren.
Here we go.
Okay. 185. I'm gonna leave cylinder 4 for the last one. Cylinder 3, when you're ready.
All right, here goes.
Okay. I'll call that 185. All right, this is cylinder 5. Lauren, when you're ready.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Same thing, 185. All right, this is cylinder 6. When you're ready.
Here we go.
Okay. Oh, look at that. That one's a bit low. It's 170. It's gonna be the last one. Just give me a second. Oh, it's the moment of truth. I hate this part. Pray to whoever we gotta pray to. This is cylinder 4. When you're ready. Okay. So when I press the Schrader valve, it's not doing nothing. So let me hold on. I think it's very obvious, but one more time. Okay. Your cylinder 4 has a big f***ing hole. Taylor, you come over here and look at these compression test results.
I don't want to.
Pour cylinder number 4.
Like it
That belongs to you.
It was bumping like,
I could hear it out there.
it was bumping maybe
Sound like the
5.
rest. It didn't sound like any of them. It sounded like didn't even sound like the cylinders were going up and down.
Nope. All you heard was everything else. So what I think it was spraying was, look, it's picking up oil. So as it's spinning, it's actually, when you're cranking it over, it's pulling oil and spitting oil through the thing. And that also explains why there was nothing that came out when you spray all that lubricant on the top of the piston. So one more thing that we wanted to try, since oil isn't increasing the compression or anything, is I had an epiphany that it's possible the head lifted or cracked the head gasket, because it looks like there's a bunch of water that's pulling on the top of the cylinder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this like a plug. So this is going to plug it, and I'm going to listen into the coolant reservoir. And if you hear compression strokes, it's a pretty obvious answer that that's the issue. The proper way to do this would be a leak down. Of course, you end up pressing, put 100 PSI into there, and then you hear where it whistles. But this, when you don't have a leak down, this is what we would do. Can I get?
Okay, one person on there at a time. Come on.
Hey. Compression's going into the cooling system. Pretty sure head gasket on top of whatever else. I think it's head gasket. I think it's piston. It's bad. Okay, well, that's some pretty shitty news, and it is pretty bad, but I'm sure there's going to be video 2, so don't worry about that. We'll end up likely tearing it down, figure out exactly what happened, and you'll be able to see it. Unfortunately, there's not really any way to avoid it. Could be any number of things. Could be the octane, could be, I mean, you're running the motor to its absolute limits. So I think it ended up being a couple of issues or a couple of things that are bad and wrong, but we'll figure it out. Stay tuned for video 2 or part 2, and as always, feel free to like and subscribe. Fucking mosquito on my nose. See you guys in the next one. There's Taylor. Bye, have a good time.
It's not a good time.
No.